Hello everyone, here's your weather hazard briefing for Wednesday, October 16th. We've got some wind coming in around and ahead of that first round of rain that's arriving later on today and tonight. And some of those higher gusts, especially across the Snake Plain and Magic Valley, pushing closer to 40 miles per hour. Now, we talked about that round of rain. It arrives in the Central Mountains this afternoon. That'll swing east through this evening, and then one or more rounds of rain and mountain snow will continue through Friday. It is very possible, and stress possibly, might see a few snowflakes in the Snake Plain Friday morning. It's a matter of how quickly the cold air arrives with the precip that's coming around in a wraparound band, one of our convergence events, late Thursday night, early Friday morning. Higher amounts of precipitation at the moment across the south and east of the Snake Plain, at least with the current forecast in place. Satellite shows we're already seeing the leading edge of some of that moisture. That's at first round, ahead of the first round of showers, a little bit of rain today. Not seeing much in the way of thunder in the forecast, but with this system being a pretty cold system, a pretty decent cold front or two coming through with it, wouldn't be shocked to see a lightning strike or two over the next couple of days. But right now we don't really have thunderstorms in the forecast on any basis at all. It's a very, very low chance. For it to get in the forecast, it has to be about a 15% chance or higher. So right now, any potential is well below 10%. Looking at our weather risk outlook, not much going on. Gusty winds generally out of the south and southwest. They'll eventually turn west to north as we go into Thursday and Friday as the low drops across the state and heads down towards Utah and the Four Corners area. Impacts look to be at this point minimal, even when we get some snow in the higher elevations. This is, again, we're going to be overcoming a couple of things. It's been very warm of late, so to get some decent accumulation on the ground is really going to take a lot. And it is very, very dry out there as well, out in many areas, because it's been in some places a month since we've had any moisture. So it may take a little bit of moisture to get in the ground, or at least even start to fall in some areas because of the dry air in place. So impacts right now look to be minimal, even in the higher elevations with this event. We get a brief break Saturday before maybe a few showers hanging in with the next system coming through. And even with that low, once it drops south, it swings northeast. It might clip the southeast corner on Sunday. Maybe a little better chance in the Central Mountains with some showers arriving ahead of the next system coming through the area. So looking at how that forecast will go for today, you'll notice that band of rain showers moving into the Central Mountains late this afternoon and into this evening. It shifts to the east. By the time it gets east of the Snake Plain, it will be the middle of the night, gets into Wyoming by sunrise tomorrow. We're already seeing the main area of showers starting to move into the area. Snow levels start out pretty high, and they will continue to lower slowly through the day tomorrow. And again, it's a matter of it wrapping around the convergence band around the backside and how much cold air is in place when that comes through for any potential for snowfall in the lower elevations across the Snake Plain and Magic Valley especially. So again, this will shift east late Thursday night, early Friday morning with the wraparound band coming through. And then on Friday, getting ahead of myself, a few lingering showers generally south and east of the Snake Plain as we go through the day on Friday. So going back to the rest of our forecast, those winds today ahead of that front, some of those gusts above 30 miles per hour. That's during the afternoon hours. With that moisture coming, not much falling up even in the Central Mountains where it is needed with the ongoing fire situation up in that area, and also no precipitation today for those big fires over in western and central Wyoming. Temperatures today generally above normal once again, plenty of 70-plus degree temperatures well ahead of that front where we don't have a lot of cloud cover, and the showers moving in later on this afternoon. Now, going into this evening and overnight, that's when those strongest gusts across the Snake Plain will take place, and some of those gusts 40, 45 miles per hour in some areas, elsewhere 25 to 35. Looking at the moisture, kind of have a dry spot over the central part of the area. Portions of the Snake Plain and Magic Valley, probably see some sprinkles, maybe a little bit enough to wet the ground, but major precipitation expected elsewhere across the area. And most areas seeing a tenth to a quarter inch in those highest elevations, a little higher up around Pocatello, over into the Tetons as well, and up into the Big Holes, and maybe over a far western part of Lemhi County. Snow generally well high tonight and tomorrow, early tomorrow morning, and light accumulations taking place there as well. And those wind gusts for tomorrow will move ahead, lingering over around the wind farms, the benches from Blackfoot up through Rexburg. Otherwise starting to wind down a little bit, at least during the day. They'll pick up again tomorrow night as that low strengthens, deepens, and heads into Utah. These winds generally turning northerly to northwesterly across the area. This is tomorrow into tomorrow night. Precipitation amounts, pretty widespread, light to moderate precipitation. The highest amounts generally during the day tomorrow into tomorrow night will be over the higher elevations of the eastern highlands, also down across the South Hills and Albion Mountains, and up across Lemhi County as well. And these precipitation amounts, some of this was kind of more widespread, but there'll be some embedded heavier showers. And of course, if we get a thunderstorm or two going, maybe a little bit more precipitation falling. Here are those snow amounts. Light to moderate snow tomorrow afternoon, really tapering off tomorrow night, except over along the Montana border, the divide over into the Tetons and Big Holes. But again, we've got a warm ground. These accumulations, not necessarily potentially maybe seeing that warm ground, but there is that potential there for seeing some decent snowfall, especially if we can get the moisture to fall. But again, we've got a lot to overcome with that. Maybe that light snow falling in the Snake Plain tomorrow night, early Friday morning. But again, the best chances, the higher amounts generally up across the eastern highlands into Wyoming and south central Montana tomorrow night into Friday. Temperatures tomorrow, you can see how much cooler it's going to be. Some areas in the low to mid 50s, otherwise 30s and 40s across the board. And for those wind gusts going into Friday, some of those gusts 25 to 35, maybe a couple of spots closer to 40. This is on Friday. Precipitation starts to shift east as we go into Friday. Generally, this southern and eastern highlands, and very light precipitation expected as that quickly winds down during the day on Friday. Those temperatures Friday, it's going to be a chilly morning for some folks. Friday morning, temperatures up in the coldest part of the Central Mountains in the single digits. Otherwise, teens and 20s, where we have the warmer air at least ahead of the secondary cold front coming through. Temperatures just above freezing in some places. Those highs on Friday, some folks may hit 50, 51 degrees, otherwise more 30s and 40s. I just want to throw in Friday night, Saturday morning, showing that pretty much a big freeze potential across the entire region, even the warmest spots below freezing. Again, up around Copper Basin and Stanley, 0 to 10 degrees for overnight lows. It's going to warm up through the weekend. We'll take you to Sunday. Some of those highs down in the Treasure Valley and the western part of the Magic Valley trying to push 60 degrees. So it's going to be cooler. It's going to warm up, but it's definitely going to be cooler than we've seen over the past several days and weeks, pretty much in general across the area. So once again, gusty winds ahead of the first round of rain. That moves into the Central Mountains this afternoon. That shifts east this evening. And one or more rounds of rain and snow as we go into Friday. Any potential for snow right now is low across the Snake Plain and Magic Valley Friday morning, but we could see a little bit of light snow accumulation on the grass or just some flakes at least falling. And then any precipitation amounts in general highest south and east of the Snake Plain. Have a great Wednesday and do stay safe out there, everyone.